Welcome to the We Hack Purple podcast, where each week we meet different guests, people who work in information security and do all sorts of different types of jobs. The We Hack Purple Academy started this podcast so that all sorts of newcomers to our industry could learn what it's like to do various jobs and the type of qualifications they need to get them, what types of experiences you want, who you might want to go meet, books you might want to read. For people who are already in the information security field, this is just super curiosity. I've always wondered what it's like to do this or that job. And so I am your host, Tanya Janca, and this week our guest is Mehidia Afrin Tania. And so, yes, you have a Tanya and a Tanya on the show. Yeah, that's right, it's happening. And we are sponsored by the amazing, the awesome, the supportive ThreadFix. And so, without further ado, because I know what you actually want is to see the guest and meet her. So, without further ado, here we have Tanya. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. How are you?
I am good. I'm pretty excited for the episode tonight.
Yeah, I'm also excited.
We have sent messages on the internet before, but never got to have a
Yeah.
live interaction. And so I'm like, yes, getting to meet yet another cool person because of the podcast. It's a thing that podcast guests don't tell everyone is that, like, secretly, it's awesome being the host because you get to meet so many cool people.
Yeah,
But yeah,
mostly.
so please introduce yourself and tell us what your job title is.
Myself is Mehidia Afrin Tania, but people usually call me Tanya. And right now I'm doing MSc in Cybersecurity and Project Management in the UK at Bedfordshire University. And also I'm doing bug bounty hunter, or you can say that I'm doing full-time bug bounty hunting. And yeah, I love my hunting profession because it's very flexible for me.
That is awesome. I am looking forward to hearing your perspective on this because we've had one other person on, and her name is
hmm
Katie Paxton Fear, and I know
Yeah.
so we both think Katie's awesome.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, we think she's amazing. um, and so yeah, I love, I don't know, I'm very curious, so I'm going to ask you lots of questions. And my first question is, like, can you describe what a bug hunter does? Like, what does that mean?
Uh, Actually, typically each and everyone knows that you have so many websites that you have to hack those websites. Yeah, it's typically we can say that you have to hack the website, but backend, if we talk about the backend side, it's like that you have to learn a lot. After that, you can get to know what is actually bug bounty. Bug bounty is pretty much awesome. It's like not only web perspective, we can say from networking, from mobile, you can pretty much do anything. It's like normally there's so many well-known companies or also well-known platform. They give you the ethical permission to hack their website, and after that you can get a pretty much nice bounty. But yeah, for this reason you have to learn so many things. For you have to actually, when you want to hunt, when you want to dump their website, when you want to crack. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, that is awesome. So a question I ask a lot is, what is a day in the life like being a bug hunter? Like, when people are like, what is it like to be a CEO? I'm like, I am a slave
Yeah.
to email. I just answer email like half of every day, and I hate that part, but
Mhm.
then the rest of my day is totally awesome. So,
Mhm.
what is it like being a bug hunter? Are you a slave to email? I hope not.
uh, the thing is that at first, I mean, I started to learning in 2016. In that time, if I said as a beginner, in that time my day was pretty much rough because in that time I have to learn so many things. It's like I have to go for web, I have to go for network, I have to go for programming. Because if you really want to be a good bug bounty hunter, some people I get to know that they said that there is no need, you don't need to learn about programming. No, as a professional bug bounty hunter, I always say to people that you have to be good in programming, because if you're good in programming language, that is pretty much awesome, and your line gonna be smooth. So from at the beginning it was rough for me, but now right now is pretty much like little bit smoother for me. But when I get to hunt like API, or sometime I get to do something like RC or SQL, yeah, in that time I have to spend a lot of time in my day. It's like sometimes it takes 10 hours, but I didn't get anything. But yeah, sometimes it gets so much rough.
Do you feel like if you plug away at something for 10 straight hours and you don't find a bug, like what does that feel like? Is it frustrating, or are you like, I'm going to get you tomorrow, or?
From my career, I get to learn one thing, that you have to be patient. You have to be a lot of patience, because if you don't find anything, it's pretty much normal. Even though in this stage, because early in 2012 to 2015, I can say that it was pretty much easier to find any bug from any website. But right now, for the people like us, website is getting smarter, because we are making smarter the website. So
Yes.
now, right now it's pretty much become harder. So don't get frustrated if you don't get anything. But yeah, there is no loss. If you don't find anything, there's nothing lost, because you get to learn so many things in this 24 hours, and it will be pretty much good for you next time. So don't get frustrated. And usually I don't get frustrated. As you said, yeah, tomorrow I'll get to you. So maximum my intention get that, yeah, tomorrow I'll find something more.
I feel like that's a really good attitude.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know if I would be as good at you as you at that. I can be impatient. And I have to say, like, as a person that's on the blue team, like the defender, I'm like, yes, I'm glad it's getting harder to find bugs. I'm glad that our industry is improving, but I'm sorry, it makes your job harder. What what type of personality traits do you think you need to be a good bug hunter? So first of all, you said patience. That seems number one. But like, what other types of things, like attention to detail, maybe?
I feel like at first you have to be a good listener. Always keep in your mind that you have to listen, because at the beginning you are like a baby, so you have to treat yourself like I'm a newborn baby. So I have to get to learn so many things in this world, and each and every know this world is vast. I mean, this cybersecurity is like, it's not like that, okay, I know the Python, I know Bob Suite, I know how to interact with browser, with a server. It's not the main thing. Each and everything you have to get updated. So keep in your mind that you have to be a good listener whenever you are reading something write up, when you're listening some senior from senior, or when you get to watching some videos from mentors. Try to be a good listener, because I find that when I want to learn something new, I have to be calm and I have to be a good listener. When I follow these things, I always get benefited. Always, always. So yeah, you have to be a good listener.
That sounds pretty important for. Yeah, I have to say, I wish that everyone was a good listener, because I bet all of everything would go better if we all had more patience in listening. But yeah, I think, yeah, you make a good point.
Because yeah, because in this field you don't have any option. You could say that, okay, I'm a smarter, but when you get to like in your field job, you start to working. Actually, you have to know. Without knowing anything, you can't do anything in this field. So this is the thing.
That is a very, very good point. For those that are tuning in, you can ask our guest, Tanya, a question if you want to. You can also click the thumbs up button. You should probably do that just in case. So I have more questions, of course. Um, what types of technical skills do you think someone needs to be a bug hunter? So you said they probably need to know programming. What do they need to know? Certain programming languages, or like all of them, or what do you think?
Uh, well, I can say from a beginning perspective, because maximum time when people watch podcast, maximum time I find that more or less they are beginner. So as a beginner, if someone watching me, then I will supposed to say that you should learn at first Python. because Python is, I can say, backbone of nowadays each and everything. So many tools that I'm using. I can say I'm using Websuit, I can say I'm using Nmap, or I can say I'm using Workshop. There's so many tools that I'm using. But in these tools, you have to know the basic thing of Python, because if you know the basic thing of Python programming, it's gonna be so much easier for you to understand the command line. You can understand the HTTP request. There's lots of easier for you. And the second thing is that in my career, I have found so many XSS bug. So if you want to focus on this XSS bug, then you have to know about JavaScript, because in JavaScript you have to use so many payload, so many cheat sheet, which cheat sheet are created from JavaScript. So if you don't know the syntax of JavaScript, you can't apply any random payload from any blank space. It's like you are throwing any cheat sheet or any blank space, and it's like you don't know anything what you're doing. So if you don't know anything, it's not going to work. So it's like that there's so many programming languages. Sorry, you don't need to like that learn so many programming languages, but the sort of thing you have to really know. Python programming, obviously, JavaScript, obviously, and obviously you have to know the basic thing of networking, because I find that people don't understand how your how your network IP is connected. So people get confused. Where is the IP coming from? Where is the IP? Which IP should I interact? Which IP should I follow? So if you don't know the basic thing of networking, then it's gonna be a little bit tougher for you. So obviously, basic of networking, basic of web, and programming, Python, Java. Yes, for the beginning, it's gonna work for you.
No, that's a really good list because sometimes people will tell me, like, oh, it doesn't matter. And it's good to actually have a specific list that people can look at. I actually don't know Python, or I've never programmed a thing in it. I guess I've read a bit of Python because I was looking through something before, but I've always like maybe I need an excuse to learn it. And yeah.
But I have to say that when I started learning Python, I get to impressed day by day, and I was start to regretting, because at first in my university I have to learn C, then I have to learn C++, then I have to learn Java. So in this three programming for that undergrad level, it was little bit harder for me, and I was in that time I was not also interested to learn programming. I was like, oh my god, programming is not type of me. I should take some excuse that you are saying. But after that, when I started learning Python, I said, oh my god, this is so easy. I mean, C just making us crazy. It's
Yeah,
not that.
C's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
There's a question in the chat. So someone is, Matusa's asking, is Mehidia's preference of Python and JavaScript a regional choice? So she's in Bangladesh, and yes, she is awake very late, and I appreciate her staying up to be on the show. But is it that people use it more in Bangladesh, or is it that's the whole world runs on
No,
JavaScript and Python?
it's not any really regional or something like that. It's like day by day when I get to being a full-time bug bounty hunter, I feel like that is your daily purpose needed. Because each and every tool right now you're using, it could be manual, it could be automated tool. Every tool are based on Python. So is it in near future it's gonna be beneficial for you. It's not like that only in my country people are only focusing on this particular language. No, it's not like something like that. And if you're talking about JavaScript, I'm talking about JavaScript particular because I get to find so many XSS bug. So XSS bug is basically a form of JavaScript. In JavaScript, we have to write down so many cheat sheet, and this cheat sheet is created from JavaScript. That's why I'm saying this.
Oh, I know. But that's a really good question. Thank you.
Yeah,
So I
thank you.
have a question. So you speak Bengali. Are there lots of resources that are in Bengali? And is there a specific resource that maybe we could share?
Right now in our website, that not that much because we started only 3 months. And if you're talking about other resources, then you can be specific so that I can say, yeah, you can get this disease.
Oh, I was hoping you would tell us about indieskilldb.com.
Oh yeah, in this case, it's just only 3 months. It's you can say also still it's a newborn baby, and we have little bit breakdown because I just moved to my country to London. So in that my website basically I have three more members. They are also bug bounty hunters in my country. So we started thinking that we should do something only for our country because in our country I see a big massive growth of bug bounty. Uh, Back in 2015 to 16 there was like internationally there was like few people from my country, but right now I'm so happy to say that there's so many good bug bounty hunters. They're coming, and those who are considered like that, okay, we know little bit of bug bounty and they are thinking that we can give them some information, so we're thinking that it's our responsibility to do something for our community. And
That
that's why we
is
start doing this.
that is awesome. I'm going to spell it out for people that are listening. So,
Yeah.
just to be clear, it's all written in Bengali. So, if you don't know Bengali, it will be very confusing. But it's Indy, INDY, skill,
Yeah.
SKILL, DB, like
Yeah.
database.com. And if you speak Bengali, you could go and learn a whole bunch of stuff. So they actually have a bunch of articles already there. There are so many blogs on this planet with just one post, and you already have 4 or 5 posts. So I think you're doing great for 3 months.
Thank you.
So of course I have more questions. So let's say someone is, they're like, this sounds cool. I want to take some training to try to become a bounty hunter. Can someone like
Mhm.
go to university and take a course to become a bounty hunter?
Uh, Honestly, if I say from my experience, still now I didn't see any academical university. No, there is no. And still now, not still now, in near future, it will always consider like a freelancer. So if you want to be a freelancer in bug bounty field, I feel like you should be a self learner because there are lots of resources right now in internet. If you are determined that okay, I want to be a full-time bug bounty hunter, you don't have to go for any academical purpose or you don't need to go any teacher. It's like there's lots of resources because for me I get to learn Nahamsek. There's a we know everyone Nahamsek Zobert from HackerRun co-founder, and I also get to know Katie, and I also get to know Cyber Mentor. This is also much famous YouTuber. I really follow them, and I also get to know so many things from them. And especially I always have recommend the newcomer that please follow the Twitter, because when I start to follow Twitter, it's like boom, I get to know so many things at a time. Each and every day they are posting so many technical advance, so many 0 days report, so many new report. I mean, it's like sometimes like your bucket is so much full, you get confused from which side you should take.
That is awesome. That's good to know there's lots of free resources.
Yeah.
There is an excellent question in the chat from Mohammed. So, what do you think about the future of artificial intelligence and machine learning? Do you think it's going to take the cybersecurity experts' place? Are we in danger of losing our jobs?
Uh, it's like a little bit diplomatic answer for me. uh, for if I talk about from a cybersecurity aspect, no, it's not gonna take like that
Yeah.
much that we think like dramatically movie we say. I feel like that usually people when ask this type of question, they're so much fascinated with movie they are watching that they are one day they're gonna take each and everything and we're gonna be lost. Oh my god, robot gonna take everything. No, in real life it will take so much time. It's not gonna work like that.
I have to say, I find artificial intelligence and machine learning still seems pretty confused. Like, for instance, so this summer I wanted to buy rain barrels. So to collect all the water that falls when it rains so that then I can keep it for when it's dry and then I can water my garden. And so I looked up some and then I picked the one I wanted. for 3 months they kept trying to sell me rain barrels. I'm like, I have 4 rain barrels. Why do you keep trying to sell it to me? Like, they're so dumb. And so I'll buy a dress and then they'll try to sell me the same dress. Yes, I know. I look great in that. Thank you. I already own it. I should wear it today. You're right. But I'm just like, what are they doing? Like, I think there's a lot still missing with the artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Yeah, I feel like it's not like lots of missing. It's I feel like the most of the artificial intelligence that work based on data. So your data must be matched with this person or with this context you are working. So sometimes I get that when I feel I watch some robotic videos that there's a robotic kitchen. In that kitchen, if you just press the menu, then the kitchen robot hand will make each and everything for you. So it's obviously based on your data that in that person like that the person what he like or should she like and what she wants to eat. And based on this space, they created that handy robot. So I feel like it's basically based on your data. You have to collect a good pretty amount of data.
Yeah, and it's hard to get high quality
Exactly.
data. And then training the models very, very expensive. And then there's just so many anomalies. Yeah, when I've been watching like videos about like speakers talking about like hacking machine learning, it's usually yeah, they're I just have so many thoughts. Um, but I have more questions. So let's say thank you for the question, Mohammed. Thumbs up. That is a great question. So what so like let's say someone they want to become a bounty hunter and they're following some of the videos online. What types of work experience do they need to get their first bug bounty contract or job? Do they need to have job experience? How's that work?
It's not like that. Typically, you need some job that we seek normally from any site or any company. It's like you need the skill. Rather than I can say the quality, I can say that you need the skill because, as previously I said, that if you have the skill of programming, if you have the skill of web and networking, then it will be easier to find you the bug. But for me it like took more than 7 months. I was like hoping, oh my god, I wish I could find a bug before my birthday because when I start to work, yeah, I was targeting my birthday. Okay, before my birthday I should get a bounty. But it was in that time I was sad, but I was not disappointed because in that time I didn't get any bug. Even
You didn't get one by
before,
your birthday?
oh no, before in my birthday I didn't get anything. And but after my birthday's 2 months I get my first bounty and it was $250 and I was so happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's not like that you need some extra quality. It's like you have to build up your own skill.
Okay, I like it. We are approximately halfway through the podcast, so I am going to thank our amazing sponsor. So, this is the We Hack Purple podcast, but we are sponsored by ThreadFix, powered by Denim Group. And they are the most stupendous vulnerability management system this side of the galaxy. And there are a lot of vulnerability management systems this side of the galaxy. So, that is an incredible claim, and I have to say, I really like their product. So, thank you, ThreadFix, for sponsoring us. We really appreciate it. But I have more questions for you, Tanya.
Yeah.
So let's say someone's watching this and they're like, okay, so I can follow some stuff online. What type of learning path do you think someone could take to try to get into your field? Like, is there a specific place that you feel that they should start or specific, like, priority maybe of order of things to focus on so that they can find bugs sooner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously there is pretty much thing that you have to follow. Like when you start to learn, we always get to know the word of OWASP. So we always know that OWSP there's a top 10 bugs. So when you start to learning bug bounty, it's not like that within 1 or 2 months you'll get to know each and every bugs. No, it's not like that. And even though if you like, okay, you know the first of all, you know the broken authentication, you know the XSS, or you know the RC, you know the only basic thing. Don't try to find out each and everything at a time. It's like if you start to reading broken authentication. So for me, I followed that. At first I start to learn XSS. So for me, at pretty much more than 6 or 7 months, I just concentrate on this XSS, because I feel like when you get some skill, or when your hand becomes smooth with particular bug, you will find some confidence from yourself. Okay, now I know exactly this endpoint, so I can get to know exactly in this point, if I upload any payload, I'll get the response. So in that context you will get some confidence. Don't go for a rush each and every bugs at a time. If you get to learn, then just at first for the beginning only concentrate only one bug and try to get polish on that bugs. Then it will be easier for you.
That's really good advice. Honestly, when I was a web app pen tester, I thought I had to know everything at the start. And so I was always
Yeah,
disappointed in myself. And yeah, it's a really good point. If you just like are really the best at one type of bug, if you're a bug hunter, then you can just go around and be like, found some, found some, found some. Smart. Okay, I like this. So, in your opinion, does being a bug hunter pay well? So some jobs in InfoSec pay lots, some don't pay as much. Do you feel that bug hunting is a high paying job?
at this moment, obviously, I should say it's a pretty high, because if I want to do any 9 to 5 info 6 job, it could depend on my luck, also on my skill, also there's a official environment. So it depends so many options. But in my bug bounty hunter profession is like if you have a good skill, and if you're working more than 2 or 3 years, it gonna be take you like a position. In that position, if you just open any website, or if you start to hacking any private site, you exactly get to, I mean, you exactly know where you are working and what type of bug you could find. So you, it's already, your mind is already set. So it's very easier for me. I know that how much money I can get. So sometimes it's also depend on me. Okay, if I find this bug, okay, now I'm planning that in this 4 week I will find this bug, and I know in this website is pretty much easier for me. So in that context I can say it's pretty much higher than others pay the 9 to 5 job.
Would you say that also because it depends on which country you live in? So, for instance, I live in Canada and the American dollar is worth more than the Canadian dollar. And so when I do contracts for American companies, they pay me in American dollars. And I'm like, would you say that that also applies too? So, like, if in Bangladesh, for instance, I don't know how much their money is worth in the translation, but like in my country, American dollars are worth more. So I always, if I can, want to be paid in American dollars instead of Canadian dollars. Is it like that for you? So you said you live in.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly the same situation in my
Yeah.
country, because I can say, yeah, my experience. Well, now right now I'm doing MSc in UK, and maximum tuition fees come from my bounty. I'm being honest with you. So maximum tuition come from my bounties. So only for this I can able to do this. So when in
That's
my country,
awesome.
when I get like $500, $1,000 in my country's currency is much bigger. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so that's awesome. Yes. um, do you feel like there's lots of opportunities in the like in the bug bounty field? Like there's lots of jobs. Like if someone wants to try to do it, are there opportunities?
Yeah, obviously, because right now this field, I mean, I feel like each and every generation they have specific field which is become eye-catching field for every generation. So I feel like in this our generation, infosec, cybersecurity, bug bounty is almost most eye-catching field. It's not like there's someone think that okay, now you're doing freelancing, it's not so well-known job, or what should you gonna say, you are a freelancer. No, 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 it's not exactly, it's not like that. From bug bounty I get to know pretty much so many things about infosec. So when I start to do something like 9 to 5 job, it will be the same qualification they needed, so I can put my qualification in my CV already, which I'm doing. So yeah, it's there's just so much option you can work. Like if you want to want to work in red team, if you want to work in blue team, or if you want to in trade intelligence, there's lots of option you can work.
Yeah, and do you feel like the experience of being like an experienced multi-year bug hunter then could potentially make you a really amazing red teamer or a really amazing security, like long-term security researcher, or perhaps like a really good penetration tester?
Yeah, obviously, because before coming in here, I was working as a red team researcher in my country. There's a company, it's called Beetle Cybersecurity, and this is the one of the most renowned company in my country. So in that company, I was working as a red team researcher. So they just only took me because I have a bug bounty experience. Only for this reason, they give me that job, and I worked in that office more than more than 1 years.
Nice. Do you so like I don't know that much about Bangladesh, but from the outside it looks like the tech industry is like exploding there. Like that there's more
Yeah.
and more tech. Yeah? Okay. So that's what it
Yeah.
looks like from the outside. So that's what it looks like from the inside too. Okay. That's
Uh,
good.
I can say that you in HackerOne, in Backcrowd, even in CNAC, in Cobalt, there is so much senior people from my country.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. So now a super hard question. What do you like best about bug hunting? Like what's your favorite part?
I want to be a little bit funny that when I get bounty, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Obviously, whenever someone get bounty, it's so happy. It makes them so happy. Obviously.
When I
But
found my
yeah,
first vulnerability, I did a happy dance. Yes.
yeah. When I get my first bounty, I was I was screaming like a lot. Ah, oh my god, I get it, I get it.
Do you still feel really happy every time you get a bounty? You're like, yes.
Obviously, because it always it likes that it's my target. I want to fill up my target. I always feel like that is my target. I want to achieve this target. So I always feel like that. And in my field, I can say that when you start working, you have to be a positive attitude that you have to accomplish this target, so it will always makes you happy. Never take like that, oh my god, it's a burden for me, I can do this. No, no, never think like that. If you when you start to thinking like that, it's become burden for you. You in that day you will literally stop loving your job. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Always be a positive attitude.
Oh my gosh, I wish that you could give that advice to everyone. When you think of like the duty of your job as a burden, you're going to start hating your job. That is very wise. Yeah. Okay. So I asked what you like the best. What is the thing that you like the least about your job?
It's like that. There's so many nights I spend finding nothing. Sometimes you get frustrated. I have to be honest. That sometimes I get frustrated. That sometimes I feel like that it's nothing. That day was like I didn't get anything. But at the same time, I say to myself that even though I didn't find anything, but the amount of time I spent in this website, in this contest, I get to know so many technical steps which I didn't know previously. It's like in my office there was a hack the box program, because in my Bangladesh office we used to do CTF and hack the box, because my boss think that it will polish your skill. Yeah, I also believe that if you do as much as you do CTF and hack the box, it will literally increase your skill. So I still remember that my boss gave me a problem from Hack the Box, and it took me 3 days to find and to upload a shell in that. So I was literally frustrated. Oh my God, I am not getting that. I can't upload the shell. But at the same time, I also feeling the anger. No, I have to put the shell. I have to inject that shell. So yeah, after 3 days, I get to do that.
Nice. That must feel just like so satisfying. You're like, that's right, I'm the boss of you, computer. I
Yeah.
feel that when I finally get the thing working, I'm like, that's right.
Yeah, obviously.
So what makes you feel the most pride about your job? So I'm a teacher, right? So like I teach people how to make secure software. So when someone really gets it or they tell me, "Oh, I used this thing I learned from you and this awesome thing happened at work." I'm like, "Yes." And so that makes me feel really proud. What makes you feel proud like with bug hunting?
In my side, it was pretty much little bit similar because in my country now I become little bit, what can I say, senior because it's been more than 3 years. So sometimes I get not sometimes, sorry, maximum time I get so many messages, so many texts. They want to know this, they want to know that. So still now I'm trying my best to help them, and I still remember that there's a new guy. He wants to know about HTTP injection, and he don't know anything about HTTP. So I provide him the information and the links and the practice that he can do. And still now I can remember that he got a bug from HackerOne, and it was maybe 400 or something bounty, and I feel very happy for him that finally he get to know this thing. And the second thing is that in my country, when I started this bug bounty, I was the only girl. So from my office, they give me so much honor when I started working, because in my office, there was 18 member and I was the only girl in that red team.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah,
You may or
yeah,
may
I
not
feel
be a role model for other women.
oh no, not like that, but I want to work from my heart that it must be, I mean, I want to be always honest in my work.
That's awesome. So, okay, so what advice would you give someone that wants to become a bounty hunter, like male, female, or from Bangladesh or from somewhere else? What advice do you think could help them?
But the thing is that recently I also got some message from my university. There's a guy, he also wants to learn bug bounty. I always prefer, and I always say to the newcomer that at least at first try to know what is actually bug bounty, because still now I'm getting the message that people are confused what is actually bug bounty. People always get too fascinated with so much high bounties. People think that, oh my god, in this field you will get so much higher bounties. Maybe it's so easier. No, don't go with that bounties. At first try to understand what is actually bug bounty, and then don't ever think that bug bounty is only for hacking Facebook or Insta or Gmail, because I get so many messages. I get so many messages about this. Don't think like that, and obviously try to be a good listener, and at first try to learn something based on programming, because if you have the good and basic strong of programming, it will be so much easier for you. And after that, obviously, if you want to be a web security expert, then go for web. If you want to be networking, then go for network. Yeah.
Do you have people write you and say, "Hey, could you hack this person for me? Could you like hack into my ex boyfriend or ex girlfriend's account because
Oh
like
my
I
god,
have like."
so much.
Like,
You know, the guy, he takes me that in my university, he was pretty much like something that he said that I want to crack the Gmail and Instagram ID from people. And also in my countries, I got so many texts that, please, could you please hack my girlfriend ID? Could you please hack my boyfriend ID? And I always said that, please don't talk with this type of stupid question with me.
yeah.
And I literally, maximum I get so much angrier because they people only think that bug bounty or hacking is something only based on Facebook, Insta. No, this is not.
Yeah, also, we're law abiding citizens and don't insult us by asking us to commit crimes for you. It's not cool. It's like rude, right? Like, could you imagine if you're like, hey, you're really limber. Will you break into this person's house for me? No, who asks that? But it's like, oh, could you hack into this person's account? It's like, no.
And I also said the same one thing to that people. I said, do you think that Facebook, Insta, or Gmail cybersecurity engineer, they're so much fool that you can make them fool? No, man. They are spending a lot of $1 million. So how could you think that only I can do something and their ID gonna be hacked? No, not like that.
Yes. Okay, so we have another question in the chat, but I also want to ask everyone in the chat, if you're enjoying this conversation, if you could click the thumbs up button for me. And if you are listening to this, if you could give us a podcast review on podcast reviews or I think there's something called Podcast Love. There's iTunes. There's all these different places where you could review us. That helps us know we're doing a good job. And if you send us a direct message on Twitter at WeHackPurple, and send us your mailing address, we will mail you stickers. Yes, that's correct. I am offering bribes for reviews. I don't pretend I'm doing something else. So let's look at the question from Mohammed. Okay, so he says, I have one more question. Cybersecurity experts usually rely on built-in operating system tools, or sometimes you have to develop one for a specific situation. Do you want me to read that again?
Yes.
Oh, you got it?
No, I get it. Yeah, pretty much like that, because there's so many automated tool. But in that automated tool, you will get a rough estimated result. But if you really want to do some practical hacking, then you have to do it manually, like I do, because I never rely on automated tool. Sometimes I want to see the rough estimated. Like in my office, we use Nessus. In Nessus, we get some rough estimated result. Okay, in this website, you will have some might be RC, some might be SQL, or you can get some HTTP problems. But they give you a rough estimated, but they don't give you the specific problem that you'll get to find out from manually. Because in manual, when I do some brute force, or sometimes when I do want to do upload any show, I have to do it manually. I didn't rely on any automated tool. It not gonna work like that. Because in manually there's so many tricks that which is created by on myself. Only I know how to trick them. Only I can apply them. Yeah. So which I get to learn from my experience, which you can get from automated tool. So if you're thinking like that, okay, I will upload some automated tool and I will hack this website. No, it's not going to work like that.
That is such a good way to put it too, because automated tools will always miss lots of things.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it will just give you a normal result. Yeah, rough result that, okay, blah, blah, blah. You will get the 10 bucks, you'll get the 10 problems, but you will never be a specific. Like, I need to know the specific problem, which will give me actually the bounty.
yes, yes. So much yes there. So I have two more questions for you, and then I have to wrap up. So do you do other things outside of information security that you want to share? Like, for instance, I guess we already know that you do indieskilldb.com, which I'm putting on the screen underneath you. But is there anything else that you want to share or raise awareness about that matters to you?
Right now, actually, I'm doing my MSc, so it's a little bit messed up for me because it's just only 2 months I moved in here, and right now I'm just focusing on my study, because at the same time I'm start to living alone without my family, so it's a little bit messy for me.
Oh my gosh, that must be so much. Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
oh, sorry.
yeah, please. No, please.
My last question is probably something that is on many people's mind, is if someone wants to know more about you, so they can follow you on Twitter at MEHIDIA AFRIN. So
Yeah, exactly.
Mehidia Afrin.
Yeah.
But on LinkedIn, you have Mehidia Tanya. So if people want to follow her there, you can follow her that, but add Tanya. But do you have upcoming talks, or do you have anything else that you want to share with us of something that you've worked on? And it's okay if you don't, but I'd like to just give everyone the option.
Honestly, I really like to talk with you because the way you're speaking and you feel me comfort. Before starting this interview, I was a little bit nervous. I was thinking that, okay, what should I say? And in my life, it is the first podcast that I'm doing. So I was a little bit nervous, but thank you. You make me so much comfortable, and it is pretty good to talk with you. And you are doing really great. I was thinking that I said that I was thinking that I should buy your books because they're really doing good.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I should say to your audience, yeah, go for Tanya's books. It's a pretty good.
Okay, so speaking of my book, I was supposed to talk about my book, so I'm just putting it on the screen for a second. I wrote the book called Alice and Bob Learn Application